Hi there. I'm Tish.
I'm Lily.
Together we are
Haunted Housewives.
And we are coming to you today to give you 2 reasons why you should visit
Castle Blood.
Castle Blood in Monessen, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Castle Blood is a unique Halloween attraction. Mm-hmm. Lily's going to talk about this a little bit. It kind of pushes the boundaries of what it means to be a haunted house. I mean, in one
very
sense,
different. Mm-hmm.
It is a haunted house. It's
is.
in
Absolutely.
a century-old funeral home.
There's that literal sense, too.
There's that literal sense. Yeah. And it has atmosphere to spare, but it's not your typical haunted attraction.
Right.
So we have 2 reasons why you should visit them.
Okay.
You want to kick it off?
So, yeah, sure. One of my reasons is for you to go to Castle Blood if you like puzzles, because each room in this haunt has something for you to solve. You spend a certain amount of time in each room, and the denizen of the room will walk you through it, and they're all very different. They change it up for each season. It is a new story and a new puzzle. So if you've gone before, go again. It will be different. But yeah, the puzzles are all different. They're no matter who you go with, there's usually somebody that's good at one of them. Like, I know if it's words or letters or we're putting anything together like that, I look to her.
Yeah, I'll do the word puzzles. We've gone with our families, and Gomez and Eddie were really good at building. Uh-huh. They had to build something.
We had somebody else that we didn't know in our group do the there was some sort of weighing thing with like a lot of them are word puzzles or brain teasers.
Yeah, there's logic, there's matching, there's occasionally trivia, there's puzzles to see if you're paying attention to your environment, there's puzzles to see if you're working together. Because there's like maze puzzles too, like some of them are kind of physical, you have to put things in the right order, or there's a marble you have to get to a certain place, there's literally all different kind of puzzles. It's similar to an escape room in that respect, where you have to at least try to solve the puzzle to get out of the room. Sometimes the creatures will take pity on you and just
sometimes
perhaps out of resignation or despair, just send you on to the next room.
And they can also make it harder and trick you. It depends on who it is and,
Right. You cannot always trust what they're telling you to do.
Exactly.
But it's fun. It's interactive. It makes you interact with the other people in your group. It makes you interact with the characters, the denizens of the castle. It makes you interact with the environment.
Right.
So this is not just a place where you walk through and look at the pretty sets and go, ooh, that's really cool. You are part of the story.
Yeah, you're not a bystander, you're a participant.
So be prepared for that. And that means if you are going with a small group, you may be put together with somebody else. You may have to work together with another group in order to survive the castle.
Which is always interesting. Sometimes they're a detriment. Sometimes you have to tell them, no, that's not the answer. Chill. We have to work together. Sometimes just means me. Like, if I know they're wrong, I don't hesitate to tell them, shh, no, that's not it.
Stop.
Yeah.
So,
but sometimes they help. Sometimes
they do.
There's been quite a few times where we had no idea what to do, and they just were like, "Well, and they figured it out." And we're like, "Yay!"
Yeah. Sometimes you'll get a participant in your group has really specialized knowledge that comes in handy.
Right? Like,
how did you know that? Amazing.
Like, who wrote all these poems? Everybody shut up.
It's gonna be
She's
Poe.
going to answer.
It's gonna be Poe. Maybe Shakespeare. So, if you like puzzles, Castle Blood. My top reason for going to Castle Blood is nostalgia. Mm-hmm. Castle Blood is, despite the name, not especially gory, not gruesome. It takes inspiration from old classic horror movies, the original Universal monsters, Hammer horror films, or for Pittsburgh area residents of a certain age, Chilly Billy Cardille, those old movies that would play on Saturday nights where the sets were lush and lavish and hung with cobwebs, and there's always, somebody in a cloak with the collar pulled up. The castle plays into old movie nostalgia. Mm-hmm. It's also, near and dear to our hearts because there's a clear line of inspiration from the Munsters and the Addams Family. It's funny and creepy, and its approach to, I wouldn't even say horror, its approach to the holiday is reassuring. Mm-hmm. It's sort of saying there's nothing to be really scared of in the shadows, and playing in the darkness can be cool. If you want to feel like you're, 8 years old, wandering around at night with your trick-or-treat bucket and looking forward to getting home and delving into your hoard of candy and maybe watching something spooky on TV, Castle Blood taps into that feeling. And they embrace that very proudly. They a lot of their merchandise, a lot of their T-shirts will say, Castle Blood, Halloween the way it ought to be. The castle's caretaker has even said it's not just Halloween the way it ought to be or Halloween the way you remember it, but Halloween the way you wanted it to be as a kid.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because it just reminded me when I was a kid, a friend of mine's father ran a funeral home. And so sometimes we would play in the basement among the caskets.
That explains a lot.
So it feels nostalgic for me in that reason. So if you have my same experience.
The things you find out doing these videos. Wow.
I mean, obviously they were empty. Just got to clarify that. They were, used to show people the caskets that just in case anybody has the wrong idea.
Right. So we're all picturing this now. Please tell me you're picturing small Lily heaving bodies out of the casket. No, it's back to the haunted attraction we're discussing.
It was a funeral home, right?
Right. It was a funeral home. It's a century-old funeral home. Apparently, the embalming room is now the gift shop.
Oh.
So.
See? Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
But if you remember those Halloween TV specials from the 80s, if you were the kind of kid who curled up with Ray Bradbury short stories, if you love, the Halloween tree and Something Wicked This Way Comes, you're going to love Castle Blood. So, my top reason, nostalgia. Back to you.
Back to me. So, my second reason plays off of that reason.
Okay.
I bet it's part of that, and it's how beautiful it is. I was going to say the beauty of horror. Willow's trying to join us here. But I don't know that I would necessarily call it horror. It is the beauty of Halloween. It's the beauty, it's like gothic beauty. It's just so You almost are speechless when you walk in, and room after room, it's just gorgeous,
detailed.
And, oh my gosh!
The parlor is this sort of deep blood red and velvet,
like half circle bench, and oh my gosh!
and then
and the trinkets and the things on the walls and just everywhere.
The caretaker's office with all of the papers and the tools of the trade and the
there's like bookshelves and
the Museum of Crypto Spookology, which has little cryptids and masks and
and sometimes the puzzle will take you looking through these things.
Yeah,
and it's hard not to be distracted. Like, I'm on a timer, but like I want to look at everything too.
Right. And then when you go outside, there's a whole outside area. You walk through the family crypt, through the graveyard, and out into an area where the castle's witches live, which is Crowhaven.
I want to live out there. It's
beautiful. It has a sort of Blair Witch feel, but warm. If you can imagine a cozy Blair Witch, Crowhaven feels like that.
Yeah, I would agree.
It is great to look at, detailed. It genuinely feels like somebody's home.
Yes, yeah. I thought they lived there for a long time. Like,
I believe they do. I firmly believe that any indication that these are actors who have separate lives outside of that place, false flag. Yeah. False flag. They're vampires and witches and ghouls and mad scientists. And they really live there. Which brings me to my reason number 2, which is the castle is filled with original characters.
Yes.
The cast is made up of people who are supposedly they're trained actors, supposedly they're stage musicians, supposedly they're costume designers. Not buying.
We know the truth.
We know the truth. The denizens of the castle have created original characters.
Yeah.
And they play these characters. A Journey Through the Castle is scripted. It's a play. They have a play. There's a point to every journey through the castle. But they're also constantly improvising. They're constantly playing off the way the groups interact. So,
in different ways. And, like, personality-wise, how are you treating them? Yeah. But also, how well are you doing? If you're doing badly,
Madam Nightshade,
help.
She has a look of permanent pity on her face when we walk into the room. You can just see her sigh. Like,
oh, it's them.
They're back.
I have to do a lot of heavy lifting here.
But the characters are these fully developed, highly original characters. There are, of course, vampires. I mean, it's Castle Blood. It's supposed to be a sanctuary for vampires. So you have Morgana, who looks and acts kind of like you would expect. I'm going to go with female Lestat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with female Lestat for her because she's beautiful. She's charming. She likes messing with the humans. Completely untrustworthy. Don't believe her. You have vampires like Josette, who's just a little bit contemptuous of the humans and very much in control. You have ghouls, the castle servants, like Loomis, who's the butler, who I swear will not change expression, no matter what stupid thing you do. He's just going to look at you like. And Anatoly, who is an assistant caretaker, and he will try to help you, but he's also a little bit over it.
Yeah.
And then there's Boris.
Yeah, we cannot forget Boris.
Everybody
knows.
Boris.
I was going to say, everybody knows Boris.
Boris is, I think, centuries ago, he was from Ukraine, wasn't he?
Maybe.
Because I think he was from Ukraine, and he's a ghoul, and he does not suffer fools gladly, or in fact, at all.
At all. Not at all. You are
and
not safe.
He will insult you constantly. There's Hexabart, who's the resident witch, who lives outside. She looks like she's been conjured out of wood and stone, but she's really very warm and friendly and inviting. And the mistress of the jump scare. We've been through at least 3 times and didn't see her.
And we know
where
she's somewhere.
She's going to be in
Crowhaven, but
but managed to scare us.
Yes.
There are mad scientists who are, again, distinct characters.
Right.
Professor Scry and Professor Belfry and Professor Ezra.
Yes.
Are very different people.
Yeah.
Ezra is friendly and reassuring. Scry is and Scry's like a carnival barker. He's talking really fast. He's tired of the humans. Belfry is sort of, I mean, bats in the belfry, obviously. It's right there. Little nuts. But sweet.
Yeah.
But sweet. And then there's Stabigail, she's human, but she's a psychopath, so watch out for her.
Yeah.
And Gravely the caretaker, who is waiting at the end of the journey in the gift shop. But all of these characters are well thought out, completely developed. Madame Nightshade, who is some sort of vampire, banshee, fae hybrid, has an Irish brogue that is astonishing, just convincing.
Right.
Boris's accent.
Oh my gosh,
is phenomenal. These characters are not just characters.
Right.
So if you like good haunt acting, if you appreciate eccentric Addams Family type characters, and you want to see something original, Castle Blood has it. Yep.
It's beautiful. You do puzzles. It's something completely different, and
nostalgic. Yeah. Highly interactive with excellent actors, and one of the more obvious things that we haven't really said, there are jump scares.
Oh yeah.
There are jump scares.
I do forget to tell people that. Meanwhile, every time I'm like, ah.
There are. They don't. Yeah. Castle Blood is not there to frighten you. Yeah. They want the humans and the monsters to get along. But they do have things that live in their walls.
Yes.
And jump out at you. Yeah. So if you're looking for something different, if you love Halloween, but you're not entirely sure that you like the horror part of it, Castle Blood may be for you.
Yes. And they do daytime tours, too.
They do. Sunday afternoons, they're doing daylight, family-oriented tours, trick or treat through the halls of the castle.
Yeah. To get kids acclimated, maybe they like, you're not sure yet. It's a good introduction.
Yeah, and you get to see all the beauty of this place in the daylight. So if you cannot make it to one of their evening tours, which are running, I think, now through Halloween, check out the Sunday afternoon daylight tours. Those are fun.
And they do holiday ones too. So
yeah,
off season.
Because they live there.
It's true.
They live there. It's true. We know.
That's why they're so good at their accents.
Yeah. Oh, they're acting. They're absolutely not. Castle Blood, Monessen, Pennsylvania, and we will be back to give you more reasons to visit more haunted attractions. Bye.